What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and since we're into the final few days of the season, I figured interest in the current season is at an all-time low. I was wondering what kind of unique video concept could I put out that people would actually be interested in watching, even though they don't really care about what happens for the rest of the season. And of course, I usually do my end of season compilation videos with the craziest battles of the season, but actually I realized I could also make a compilation of all the full family evolution line teams that I've showcased on this channel, not only during this season, but across multiple seasons in the Go Battle League. So in total, I think I've got 13 different full evolution lines featured in this video, and 4 or 5 of those battles are also submissions from my subscribers, which is really awesome to see. So with that being said, let's just get straight into the question of the day. Which full evolution line would you like to see me showcase on the channel next season? I've already got one in mind that I have not showcased yet, and it would get, I think, at least 6 or maybe even 7 buffs next season, depending on what moveset you run, so I'm very much looking forward to running that. But with that being said, let's just get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, Scyther into Aurora. So this is an awful matchup for me. Gonna have to say swap into my Cleaver straight away, and we bait out a Swampert. Now this is huge. We're running Trailblaze for coverage. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. They get one shot by the Trailblaze. We also boost our attack in the process, and this game is already over. They come in with a Venusaur, which is going to be completely core broken with that Aurora's by my Scizor. So at this point, we can just let the move go through. The opponent goes for a Frenzy Plant. They get the KO. We're going to come in with a Scyther here just because I'm thinking maybe I can go for a Fury Cutter farm down and maybe land some Trailblazers up against the Auroras. The opponent will be swapping out there after baiting with a Frenzy Plant. Very unnecessary, and this is also very unnecessary, but we go for the Trailblaze, and once again the opponent does not respect the damage there. This game is well and truly over. Gonna no shield, they go for a Weather Ball. We're gonna come in with the shiny Shadow Scizor. I'm just gonna play it safe here because I had already lost so many battles at this point, so gonna shield that up, go for the Bullet Punch farm down, and the opponent just concedes the match there. So GG's to opponent there. Into next battle, see Dugong in the lead, so absolutely awful for us. Just going to stay in. Once again, I'm going to fire off the Horn attack if I can on CMP here, and the opponent might not know the moveset here. We are a rock type, so they're probably just going to play it safe and use a shield, and they do exactly that. Now, they go for an Icy Wind. That doesn't get the KO, so we swap into our Rhyperior, and we would make it to a superpower on the CMP type, but if they do, of course, shield, I'm going to drop my defense, so I didn't really want to do that, but they then come in with Annihilate, and this is just absolutely awful. Of course, energy generation going to be slightly worse this season with that counter from Annihilate, but still not great for us when we are triple weak to the fighting typing, and of course the ice typing, which we've already seen in Dugong. But either way, we do drop their attack by 1 stage. Gonna come in with the Rhydon, and I'm not certain if I can go for a full Mudslap farm down. Gonna assess the situation here, and I wasn't confident in it, so I tried to swap, catch the move, but the opponent also tries to swap and catch a move. We're gonna commit to the full Mudslap farm down. We've got very little HP remaining, but we do win CMP up against the Annihilate. Surf gets the KO, and they've got Salazzle in the back, literally the perfect Pokemon for us to take down there, as a Surf gets the KO, and I'm able to take that game. So going into next battle, we see a Lantern in the lead. So we are typically just going to play out these lead matchups here. Of course, we've got 3 Pokemon that do basically the same thing. So there's not really any reason to swap out of bad matchups or good matchups or neutral matchups here, unless you just want to preserve some health, maybe catch a charge move here. We're going to let the Surf go through. That does quite a lot of damage. As I said, Porygon Z, bit of a glass cannon. The other 2 Porygons do have slightly more bulk to them, but we're able to take out the Lantern in the zero shield scenario. And then we swap out there. Once again, probably just saving that Porygon Z for a potential sack swap, since we were very successful in that first game with that sack swap. But here we're going to go for a Discharge. Discharge does connect, and can we get a full tackle farm down? No, unfortunately not. They're going to make it to another charge move, and I think I agree with this play as well. Come in with our Porygon 2, go for the lock-on farm down, and the opponent's barely able to make it to another charge move. This is unfortunate, but because we get the lock-on farm down instead, we're going to come out with a ton of energy, and now the opponent's got 2 shields and a Galarian Stunfisk, a Pokemon that's going to resist everything we can possibly throw. But this is their final Pokemon, so if we keep on firing off these tri-attacks and we keep on getting debuffs to their attack and defense, and if we keep on making catches like this, then we might actually be able to flip this matchup here. Unfortunately, the opponent does bait there with the Rock Slide, but still, that is 5 much shots worth of energy wasted with that catch, and now we get another attack and defense drop. We're going to shield here. The opponent's going to go and bait again with a rock side, but it doesn't matter. We should be able to very comfortably live an earthquake from this range now with the triple debuff to their attack and defense. Unfortunately, not getting the debuff this time around, but the opponent finally going to go for the earthquake there. We still live it, and we're actually going to fire off the double resisted Zap Cannon, but they are triple debuffed, so it takes out the Galarian Stunfisk. What a BM that was. That was insane. So GG to opponent there into next battle. We can see Ursaluna into a Shadow Machamp. So obviously this is a nightmare lead matchup for us. But at least with Karate Chop, whilst yes, they can absolutely spam these charge moves, they're not going to be able to just fully fast move farm me down. Or at least, I mean, they hopefully won't be able to do so. They technically probably could, but either way, gonna fire off the Swift there, hoping the opponent does throw their energy, and they do throw. So at this point, I'm gonna no shield, let the Ursaluna go down. We can come in with the Ursa Ring, hoping to go for a Shadow Claw farm down and shield once, but they swap into Greninja. Now, of course, we are running Trailblaze here. I'm hoping that by the time I throw a charge move, Swift will probably get the KO. So just gonna fire off the Swift, a little bit risky here, but Swift doesn't quite get the KO, so I swap into my Teddy Ursa, but this is not looking good. Hydro Cannon does huge damage there. We do get the Lick farm down. They're going to come back in with the Machamp, but they throw their energy. Big mistake. They could have just farmed me down there. I wasn't making it to a charge move. They're now going to come in with Feraligatr, and we're going straight for the Trailblaze. Trailblaze nearly one-shots them. The opponent does not respect the damage, and now we can just Shadow Claw, farm down Machamp, and I'm able to take that game. Let's go into the first battle, Duosion into Malamar. Now, the thing that's unique about these Pokemon is that they've got Hidden Power, and Hidden Power, whilst it's not a very good move, when it's hitting for double super effective damage, like this Bug Hidden Power on Duosion, it's absolutely going to shred through that Malamar. We're now going to fire off the Nightshade here. Nightshade did get a huge buff this season, and it does massive damage. We get the Snipe with Reuniclus running Hidden Power Dark. Now they're going to come back in with the Malamar. They can make it to a charge move here. We're actually going to shield this as the opponent goes for the foul play. We can now go for a full farm down, and of course they've still got two shields in play, but they come in with a Shadow Hypno, and this is looking pretty good for us. We can fire off the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is going to grab a shield from the Shadow Hypno, and the opponent is only going to make it to an Elemental Punch, so we might be able to live this. And Thunder Punch doesn't take us out there. We're now going to swap back into Duosion, basically just forcing the opponent to throw their energy. And you can see Colossus has Hidden Power Grass. This isn't really good for the Psychic up. Obviously, you can hit for super effective up against, say, the regular Slowbro, Slowking, Claydol, which might be a little bit more common, but we still get the farm down, and we're able to take that game. But GG to opponent there into next battle. We're going to see a Shadow Drapion in the lead. So we're going to say swap into our Shadow Sneasler, and the opponent swaps into a Mandibuzz. But again, it is a Snarl Mandibuzz, so I'm actually okay with tanking one charge move here. Unfortunately, up against a Sneasler, it will put us into Snarl farm down range, which is definitely not ideal for us. But we do tank it, and now we can go and full send the close combat. But again, a non-Shadow, so this actually will not be enough damage to get the KO. But I do get damage registration error this time around. I'm able to make it to the X-Scissor. X-Scissor grabs a shield advantage, which is absolutely huge for us. Now we're going to come in with the Weave Up. The opponent goes for a Dark Pulse for some reason. I don't really understand that play. We're now going to swap into our Sneasel, catch the Aquatel, and the opponent's going to stay in with their Shadow Drapion. We're going to shield up the next Aquatel there, and the opponent is still staying in with the Drapion. We're going to fire for an X-Scissor, throwing on the CMP tie, and X-Scissor is going to be no-shielded. It gets the KO there, and let's see, the opponent's going to come in with a Claydol, and we are not able to make it to the X-Scissor there. Honestly, things are not looking good for us, but I realize we've got one very awkward win condition here, and that's if the opponent tries to swap back into Mandibuzz, and they do exactly that, and now we come out with back-to-back charge moves, but I still need to live the Mud Slap damage, and we barely hang on with 1 HP and a Dream Weaver, making it to the Avalanche. Avalanche gets the KO, and I'm just barely able to take that game. Alright, so going into the first battle, leading Shadow Primeape into Wigglytuff. So this is probably the worst lead we could possibly see here, but I'm just going to go and full send that close combat. Technically, should have gone for one extra Karate Chop there, but close combat goes unshielded for some reason, and it literally puts them into perfect counter farm down range where we don't even take a single charm's worth of damage. That's huge for us. We also get a slight energy advantage, meaning I'm going to make it to back-to-back Rage Fist before this Talonflame makes it to back-to-back charge moves. So, of course, I'm going to shield the Flame Charge. I will be able to go for 4 counters here and throw a Rage Fist just before the opponent makes it to the next Flame Charge. Rage Fist goes unshielded, we're boosted, so that gets them very low to the point where actually Mankey can probably come in and get a Karate Chop farm down. So we let the lineup go down, they come in with the Dunsparce, and I throw on such poor timing. Honestly, Dunsparce trips me up every single time. The rollout animation is like 1 turn behind what it should be, so whilst it looks like I'm throwing on good timing, I actually end up throwing on alignment, and that might just be costly for us. This time we throw it on much better timing, going for 4 Karate Chops, but the cross chop does not get the KO. Mankey, I need you to live a drill run here. We just barely hang on. They swap back into Talonflame, going for the snipe with the Incinerate, but Mankey, super spammy, gets to the cross chop. We live the rollout damage, and 2 Karate Chops from the Mankey takes out that Dunsparce, and I'm able to take that game. As we go into the first battle, and I do want to mention that this is like the 10th time I've tried to record this video. I know usually I do get my words muddled up and I forget how to talk, but I don't know what's going on today. I just cannot talk at all, so hopefully we can get through a full video recording here without me messing up too many times. But either way, going for a Breaking Swipe, dropping the attack there, and we're just going to throw the next Breaking Swipe before they make it to the next Dark Pulse. So Breaking Swipe is going to be no shielded by the Umbreon. They come in with a Dragonite, and we are just barely able to make it to another Breaking Swipe. Honestly, I thought maybe we shouldn't have overfarmed too much there, but we do barely hang on, living with literally 1 HP. Unfortunately, we don't get the debuff this time around though, which is not ideal, since of course these Dragon Cells are dealing huge damage. But we're going to shield up the Dragon Claw, use our final shield, and the opponent comes in with a Venusaur. Now, with the Dragon Tail damage, they put us into range where a Frenzy Plant will take us out there, but we're actually just going to stay in, force the opponent to throw a Charge Move to get the KO there, and the opponent actually goes for a Sludge Bomb. A bit overkill, Frenzy Plant definitely would have taken us out, but now we come in with the Axew. We're running Scratch as a fast move, which is an absolutely awful fast move, but it deals a lot of damage. We get the fast move farm down. We weren't even at the Dragon Claw yet, but because they're running Dragon Tail as the fast move, we get off 1 more Scratch, fire off the Dragon Claw, and we're able to take out the Dragonite with an Axew. So pretty insane first battle to try and throw the charge move there, which is very frustrating, but GG's to that trainer there. Into next battle, we're going to see a Galarian Stunfisk in the lead. So great lead, but unfortunately, we're going to swap into another Pokemon that does resist the fighting typing, and again, they're always going to be shielding up either a Rock Slide or a Stone Edge, so going for the payback doesn't really help me as they do shield. But either way, going to shield up the Sky Attack. Sky Attack does cost more energy this season, so this actually isn't going to be that bad of a matchup. We go for the return, and unfortunately they double shield, but Machoke just barely hanging on, making it to a second return, and return will get the KO up against the Altaria. But they've got yet another Pokemon that does resist the fighting typing. It's very frustrating, but it is what it is. Is there still a way for us to win this? I'm going to no-shield the first move as they just go straight for an Ice Beam. So I know I can live that, so going to let that go through. We're going to go for the return. Return does big damage here. And now this is a little bit risky, but I'm going to commit to the return. We don't get there in time. I realize if I go for a cross shot there and they don't throw, then that is going to be problematic for me. But can Machamp actually make it to back-to-back charge moves here? It's definitely helped by the fact that the opponent throws. They should just commit to a full bubble farm down. And now we just barely make it to the back-to-back close combat. The first one will be enough damage to take out Azumarill, but is this enough damage to fully nuke Galarian Stunfisk? Yes, it is. It gets the one shot, and I'm able to take that game. But GG's to opponent there. Into next game, we see Altaria in the lead, so I think I could have baited here, but there's no point. I'm only making it to 1 charge move anyways. So we go for the Ice Punch, and the opponent does not respect the damage there. They come in with a Bastion on, and we get frame drops. We're not able to make it to the charge move. And as I mentioned, I did play football just before this. After we lagged there, I had so much rage that I kind of just tensed up my whole body, and then I started getting cramp in my calf, which is really funny. Luckily for me, it didn't last too long, and I was able to recover. But either way, let's see if we can recover in this battle. We go for the Shadow Punch there, and honestly, I have to say, with the Smackdown nerf, I actually really like this because Bastiodon is no longer a Pokemon that can just fully fast move farm us down. Well, I mean, it technically is doing that, but it's a bit more comfortable for us. We do make it to another Shadow Punch, and these Shadow Punches put them into range where we can farm them down, and they've got a Toxicroak in the back. Now, Ominous Wind, it's an awful charge move, but it doesn't matter. From Shadow Ghastly, it gets the KO up against the Toxicroak, and I'm able to take that game. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead into a Lantern, so not the most ideal lead, but we are resisting the fast move damage here, and so we will be able to tank a Surf reasonably comfortably without worrying about them farming us down. So we let the first one go through, we're going to full send the Stone Edge here, Stone Edge grabs the first shield from the opponent, and we do get a full Volt Switch through, so we're going to shield up the next Surf as we will easily make it to another Stone Edge before they get to a third Surf to take us out. So we go for the Stone Edge, and it grabs the second shield from the opponent, so they clearly do not want to see Alolan Graveler against their backline, but unfortunately for them, we've got two more Alolan Gravelers. Essentially, as we come in with the Geodude, we are going to let the Surf go through again, and this will do about the same amount of damage it did to the Graveler. We can now go for the Rock Slide here, and from this range, Rock Slide will take out the Lantern. They've got an Abomasnow in the back, we swap into our Alolan Golem, and we can let this move go through. They didn't farm to the Energy Ball, it's just a Weather Ball. Now we can go straight for that Stone Edge, and I'm predicting it's probably going to be a Noctowl in the back. We one-shot the Abomasnow, and it is the Noctowl, so that is perfect. We're actually going to farm to the back-to-back Wild Charges, just to be sure that we will be able to take them out here. Going for the first Wild Charge, and how much damage does this do to the Noctowl? It one-shots the Noctowl, and we take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into next game we see Escavalier in the lead, so not ideal for us whatsoever. I'm just going to go for a Discharge throwing just before they make it to the next charge move, and Discharge goes unshielded. We swap and we snipe with a Volt Switch from my Shadow Magneton, and then they come in with a Azumarill, and this is now looking really good for us. Horror lead, but Discharge gonna grab a shield from the opponent, and we are going to overfarm. The opponent throws just before we make it to the next Discharge. I'm gonna shield up the Play Rough here, and they will need a few more bubbles to make it to the next charge move, so I go for good timing, throwing after two Volt Switches, go for Discharge number 2, grabbing a shield, and the opponent overfarms too much. We make it to a third Discharge in time, taking out the Azumarill, and they've got Galarian Weezing in the back, and this is going to be game over. I'm going for the Wild Charge immediately, and even though it's neutral damage, it easily one-shots the Weezing, and I'm able to take that game. Into the next game, we see a Lantern in the lead. Oh my gosh, how on earth are we supposed to be a Lantern with this team? We need a miracle here. Gonna go for that Side Shock, and hopefully they run like Hydro Pump or something. I don't know. We're gonna see what happens here. Gonna let the move go through. The opponent baits with a Surf, and now they are gonna go for another charge move. Are they just running Surf? No, they go for the Thunderbolt. They do take out the Slowpoke here, but it's not looking too good for us considering they did shield that first move. We're now gonna shield the next charge move here, and it's another Surf bait. So this opponent realizes that we are incredibly weak to the Lantern, and they are going to keep it in, double shield their Lantern. That is not ideal. We get to the charge move, but we choose to overfarm here. I like this play, and now we will be able to shield, get the Confusion farm down. We're going to go for the Fire Blast. No, we swap out and we come into the Slow Bro here. I don't know why we didn't go for that Fire Blast there, but anyways, they go for the Dazzling Gleam that does so much damage. They now come in with Fire Fang Marwile, but at least we do have Water Gun, so we can hit for nice neutral damage. The Surf does big damage. It's a simultaneous KO, and now we can go for that Fire Blast up against the Ninetales. Fire Blast takes out the Ninetales, grabbing another screenshot on the way out, and we take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.